colleges to build more accommodation for our students and give back land to our people to start their businesses and end poverty and unemployment. Forward with Comrade Thami, forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, DP. Comrade Thami loved to sing, so that is why we are not cutting speakers when they come to the podium and Vakali Kucholabo. And because he always loved singing with his contagious smile, where he would, obviously in the midst of it all, was very critical and a disciplinarian who would make sure that you actually follow things as the way they are supposed to be. So when I call the MK Liberation War veterans to the front, please come through. Comrade Pesi Muraga, to give your tribute on behalf of MK Liberation War veterans.
Viva ANC, viva! Viva ANC, viva! Comrades, I won't read all fraternal structures of the movement. I'll quickly greet family of our Comrade Thami Ncokwane. Ngiyaludumedisa bakhaethu, ngiyanibulisa ngithi akwehlanga ungahlanga dudu kuleyo ndawo. uComrade Thami ngiyakholwa ukuthi nabafundisi bazavumelana nami mangithi uComrade Thami unathi in spirit. Uyaphila. He continues to live with us. He's amongst us. He's actually smiling. Ukuthi you have all turned out to be here, those who managed to be here, and those who did not manage to be here are here with us in spirit. So bengithi family yaka Thami Ncokwane, our commissar, siyabonga ngeqhawe enasinikeza lona ukuthi lizosebenzela i-African National Congress, ukuthi lisebenze ukudevelop our members we-African National Congress, ukuthi ekugcineni bagcine ba-cadre we-movement, because there's a difference between a member and a cadre of the movement. Yes, because most of the members of the African National Congress are just members of the age. They haven't reached that status to be called cadres of the movement. Siyabonga kakhulu nakubantwana nakubama sithi dudu, but find comfort okutheni Comrade Thami will forever be with you, will forever watch over you. Comrade Thami, I hear people, they call him a commissar. Comrades, for you to be called a commissar, you must have worked, you must have been a protege of a commissar that was trained by MK in the structures of MK. And most members who were commissars were trained in the Eastern Bloc. Now, Comrade Thami, he is a real commissar because he worked in the commissar Unkulu, Comrade Zweli Sinza. Comrade Zweli was from here in Orlando East. He was a master of my explosives. Comrade Thami was taken by Comrade Zweli Sizani, and he trained him and developed him politically. Uguti azariche leso standard, so guti abe a cadre of the movement. You know, a cadre of the movement is selfless. He always puts the people forward. He always understands the profile of the area or ward or zone or region where he comes from. That is the cadre of the movement. You will never find the cadre of the movement in compass like we see these days. Comrades, the meeting, Comrade Thami served in many structures. For example, he also served Gunehau and Lituli House as chairperson of the structure in Lituli House. When the ANC had challenges, Comrade Thami, because he was combat ready, he quickly joined that structure to ensure that worker issues are put into context and are given a proper direction. And those challenges, the workers in Tuli House, that you all know of, the salaries and all, where Comrade Thami made sure that all those challenges were put into proper context and they were not used to attack the movement. That was Comrade Thami, a real cadre of the movement. He always had championed the people's issues. Comrade, I'm talking about the commissar. Maybe I don't think I've reached the 3 minutes. It's 2 minutes left because I'm looking at the watch. On the social front, Comrade Thami worked nama NGOs, he worked nama chambers, because he was always worried about the second phase of our transformation, which is the economic struggles about Bagit. That is why we have seen even no Mama Bumaru Business Chamber as evidence of the Comrade Thami was in touch with our community's work. Comrades, because Patushelo, Tutumol Teke, Ketabuela Komura, Laksa Buatan and Tantri Bue, Comrade Thami, Secretary Luanko Rekialeboha, Ketompe Musu Ketapile Linking, Ketubi African National Congress, Ketabuela Murahu Keri. As long as it was about command as Lumen! As long as it was about command as Lumen!
Thank you so much, Comrade Percy, for that respect. Comrades, it is because we also have to respect traditions of the family, and the family does have a time where they would like to be back at home. The reason why we are pushing is so that we respect the wishes of the family, and that is how Comrade Thami would have also liked us to do his memorial. So I would say Kata, but we are just trying to push so that we get to the message from the African National Congress. I'm going to ask the ANC Youth League to come through, represented by the chairperson, Comrade Cde Thami.
Amanda, Awetu, Mata, Karuna, long live the undying spirit of Comrade Thami Ncokwane, long live. Thank you very much, comrades. We're instructed to say all protocol observed, but but it is important to acknowledge the family of Comrade Thami, and of course acknowledge the Deputy Chair of the ANC and the Provincial Secretary of the ANC, and the Deputy Chair of the Youth League and the Provincial Secretary of the Youth League that are here. Comrades, this is a very sad day. In 2008, when I came to the provincial office as the provincial chair of the Congress of South African Students, I then met Comrade Thami, a selfless cadre of our movement, a personification of what we call comrades, of what we call selfless leaders of our movement and leaders who service our people without expecting anything in return. Comrade Thami serviced the ANC without expecting anything in return. When we were appointed in the PTT of the Youth League, it is Comrade Thami who inducted us. And Comrade Thami challenged us to build structures of the Youth League. And we are happy to report, Comrade Thami, in your sleep, that this past weekend, we have launched all regional congresses of the Youth League in Gauteng, and there's no interim structure. But there are challenges, Comrade Thami, in your sleep. You were passionate about the rebuilding of the Youth League, but there are ANC leaders who are obsessed with making sure that their favorites become leaders of the Youth League. In these regional congresses, we witnessed a foreign behavior. Comrade Deputy Chair of the ANC and Provincial Secretary, please tell the leadership of the ANC in Cde to stop interfering in affairs of the Youth League. We are not rebuilding the Youth League for them to service their pockets. We are rebuilding the Youth League to have a permanent imagination of the ANC for years to come. Comrades, it is Comrade Thami who taught us political education. He also told us that revolutionary songs are another form of political education. When you sing revolutionary song, we'll start to know that this comrade is conscious. In the ANC today, we sing songs that praise leaders. That's why we're calling on all young people to stop singing this song called Remorata Kaufela. When young people are unemployed, young people do not have access to education, we can't be singing songs called Remorata Kaufela. For what? Comrades, our organization has got problems. It is very sad that Comrade Thami left without even having a contract at work in the provincial office of the ANC. And this is how we mistreat our people. Anyone, comrades, who's defending the status quo and the state of our organization today, this comrade must be mad or defending their dinner table. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Chair of the ANC Youth League. All of us, especially COSAS, SASCO, and the Youth League. Sonke siphume ezandleni zika Comrade Thami. He actually, we also used to call him a teacher. Nowadays, Youth League are very passionate about ensuring that young people understand the importance of political education. So we thank the PYA. We are now going to move to the ANC Women's League that will be represented by Utlovicho, our chairperson, Comrade Faith Mazdiboko.
Thank you very much, Comrade Program Director, Comrade Loiso Masuku. Let me acknowledge the leadership that is here, as we have indicated, was standing on the protocols that we will observed. Comrade Thami Ncokwane tutuzekani ndeni silahlekelwe sonke aninodwa enilahlekelwe ngesizulu siyasithi isitsha esihle asihleli kohamba amaqhawe usale izibomo. Thina as the ANC Women's League take pride in having been lectured by Comrade Thami. All our induction workshops and all our political education workshops, they were conducted by Comrade Thami. Comrade Thami, in his engagement in those induction workshops and political workshops, he made you to really understand why are you a member of the ANC and a member of the ANC Women's League. Today we've got members of the Women's League who are PC members, who are RC members, who are RTT members, that have been inducted through the efforts and dedication by Comrade Thami. He made sure that the current leadership of the ANC Women's League, their skills have been sharpened and their skills of analysis are honed. They can even develop a program of action that focuses on the emancipation of women and fighting gender-based violence. He knew that the emancipation of women will help build the ANC. He knew that when women take power, they are able to implement the programs of the ANC. Comrade Deputy Chairperson of the ANC and Provincial Secretary, as a Rasadi, we say we are ready to lead the local government, municipality. In the coming elections of local government. What is that? Are you ready? Comrade Thami, in him, we knew that the ANC is in safe hands and that the renewal of the ANC shall happen in his lifetime. Sitilala Mokolo, Comrade Thami, indeed we have lost a cadre, and we say long live the spirit for our Comrade Thami, long live.
Thank you very much, Comrade Faith. Piri, if you can come through. Recognized protocol, then Ncokwane family, the ANC family, as the Veterans League, we have lost a son, a champion, we have lost a giant, a humble servant of the people. Your love for our glorious movement was far more reaching. Cde Thami, we will miss you till we meet again. We salute you, Cde Thami. Lala Ngokolo Kabane, a selfless leader, a commissar. Cde Thami empowered many comrades to understand the brand of our ANC. Amandla!
Oh, siyabulela. Khola ngoma ithi, awuswenkela ama-veterani, you will never come over. Awuswenkela ama-veterani, you will never come over. You will never come over. You will never come over. Awuswenkela ama-veterani, you will never come alright. Thank you very much, Ma'am Mabel. I'm now going to hand over to you for your attentiveness.
Amandla. Comrades, you know, sigijima njengeRhawutini. I know comrades you are pressed for time, but in the process we do not want to work against the wishes of Comrade Thami. I'm now going to call the following speaker, but as we do that, there are just few people that I don't want them to speak to come and say Amandla to you. I saw the president of PUDEMO, the People's United Democratic Movement of Swaziland. As we know, Comrade Thami was involved in that struggle, that's why he was banned in Swaziland. I would like Comrade Mlungisi Makhanya, the president of PUDEMO, to just come and greet, as well as the former president of SASCO, Comrade Nalezani Mashaka. But as they do that, as they come to the stage, let me call the chairperson of the South African Communist Party in Gauteng, the Red Cabinet, Comrade Mandla Khateng. Okay. Amandla. Okay, comrades, why is that so? Because Comrade Mandla prefers that we sing the international. But because it takes a little bit of time, we will start with Nehao. Comrade Mzuka Isichonji, the provincial secretary of Nehao, please take the stage. Viva ANC, viva! Viva Cosatu, viva! Viva SACP, viva! Viva Zanko, viva! Viva ANC Youth League, viva! Viva Sasco, viva! Viva Cosas, viva! Viva to all protocols observed. I thought Comrade Abnangapani. Special greetings to the family of Cde Thami Ncokwane. And I will observe protocol as directed by the program director with respect of the rest of the leadership. As now comrades were here, deeply saddened by the passing of Cde Thami, sila sizoxelela usapho lakulo Cde Thami ukuthi malale ngenxeba akuhlangana ungehlanga sonke silahlekelwe. We've lost a transformational educator. That's what I remember at the time when abasebenzi at the ANC were facing very serious problems. We were surprised that kwi-ANC kanti kuyakwazi babantu bafuna i-union ngoba phasi yazi ukuthi ezinye izinto asilanga ukuba abantu baphathwe ngendlela engekho right asiyiqhelanga kwa-ANC because ANC kuxhatshazwa abantu sothuka kakhulu maqabane. uComrade Thami was one of the people ababenesibindi wathi yena uzokwenza lento engenziwayo to unionize within the revolutionary movement. And when he did that, he chose Nehau as a whole. Because when they did that, comrades, they understood one thing, that Nehau is a red revolutionary trade union that is transformational in character. It was born and is an integral part of this glorious movement of ours. So he never saw it as selling out, but he saw it as one of the means of making sure that the progressive legislation that the ANC brought about is observed within the ANC itself. Because observe that legislation on its own stuff. And Comrade Thami was one of the few that had the courage to stand up and say, no, enough is enough. We cannot stand and sit idly by. Comrade Thami had turned our regional executive committee into an educational arena. He was very intolerant of imidlwane. In particular, as if we ask, Comrade Thami was very jealous of the African National Congress. He would never allow reactionary ideas within Nehau to find any expression. That's the Comrade Thami we know. Me and him used to spend some time almost in one fonchi, and in that fonchi, he was educating us politically. Sitige makabani nsusa. uComrade Thami makahambe kakuhle. Indlela yakhe siyibonile and sizoyilandela. And that's how we will emulate everything that he will have done. Because Comrade Thami was not just an educator. He was a revolutionary trade unionist that wanted to see revolutionary change taking place in South Africa today. And sithi hamba kahle mkhondo sizohlangana kwelizayo. Thank you very much.
No, I wasn't doing that, Comrade Mzu. I was worried that you are going to tell what are we doing there, Ekhonji. That was my only concern. Comrade Mandla, communists. Asaseki Lamakuma. Asaseki Lamakuma. Ayo. akayithandiki amakomanisi, akayithandiki amakomanisi. Akafuni GNU amakomanisi, akafuni GNU amakomanisi.
Amanda, viva, viva, viva Sanko, viva, viva Sasko, viva. Long live Komsomo, long live YCA, long live. Jigitela Ufasimba, Jigitela. Forward to socialism, forward. Thank you very much, Comrade Abner, and your co-program director, Comrade Lois Omasu. I also wish to take this opportunity to rise on the established protocol as being instructed by both of you. But of course, it is important for us to greet the family of Comrade Thami Ncokwane, but also let me take this opportunity to greet all the leadership of the South African Communist Party, past and present, who are here. I saw quite a number of them who have been here. Program Director, I bring with me fraternal greetings from the 13th Congress, PEC of the SACP in Gauteng Province. On the evening of Saturday, the 8th of February, we lost a man whose passion for the motive force of the democratic revolution was and is unparalleled. As much as Engels said at the gravesite of Karl Marx on the 17th of March 1883, for me, this speech encapsulates who Thami was, because indeed we have lost a man who's dedicated all his life on behalf of the people to pursue the national democratic revolution. So I want to leave you with three messages in remembrance of Comrade Thami. The first one is on purpose, the life with a purpose. Many of you will recall that in the admin block, not from here, which was called the Animal Farm, Comrade from Burundi will remember, as well as another very revolutionary place, not far from here, which was called Trija. Comrade Abner, you remember Trija. It was at that house and in those blocks where most intoxicating debates took place. Of course, in some instances, those discussions would have been informed by the brown bottles of Hansa that would have been massacred at Trija, only to be interrupted by Igwijo, by Comrade Thami. But what is important about those look back at the life of Comrade Thami, to paraphrase Engels, indeed, before else all, Comrade Thami was a revolutionary. The second lesson that I want to leave with you, that I draw personally from in the life of Comrade Thami, that has been mentioned, praxis, demonstrate for all of us to see and learn that the world of individualism is not the most fundamentally the most important, because to build solidarity you have to be selfless. Comrade Abba, the last point I want to remember about Comrade Thami before I sit down is what I call the dedication of Comrade Thami Ncokwane. Comrade Thami's life exemplifies his unwavering dedication to the cause of our revolution. Comrade Thami sacrificed himself, sacrificed his family on behalf of our revolution. As I sit down, Comrade Abner, I'm reminded of what Comrade Oliver Reginald Thami said. For Thami, He was of the people, a product of a mass struggle, who was always on the side of the exploited, mass, downtrodden people of South Africa. For that, we salute you, Comrade Thami. May your revolutionary spirit rest in peace. Go well, Comrade Thami. Amanda.
Thank you, Comrade Mandla. I know it's very uncharacteristic, anti-class, to stop a leader of the vanguard class from speaking law, because that's where the politics of our revolutionary movement come from. But anyway, I'm also guided by material conditions, which is also a Marxist thesis. That's what we stop now. Okay, before I call the president of Tudemo, let me ask the former president of SASCO to come and greet, because we wouldn't have known how long Thami was in the student movement, lest you see one of the first president of SASCO, Comrade Malema Shapa. Comrade Malema Shapa.
All protocol observed. In respecting time, I will be as brief as Comrade Babi and Comrade Opabudive and Comrade Saniboy Simelane. Those who know their rights will know what I'm talking about. Comrade Abna gave Comrade Makuku some extra time because Makuku is older than him. I'm older than Makuku. So I think Comrade Abna, the message went through. It is always said, or often said, that when the revolution matures, heroes shall fall. We are meeting today in the context of an irony that Comrade Thami left Mother Earth at the same time as Comrade Sam Nujoma of Namibia. When I'm saying when the revolution matures, heroes shall fall, we went through serious challenges when the South African Student Congress was losing SRC elections left, right, and center. As we speak now, SASCO has reclaimed SRC elections in almost the revolution is maturing. Comrade Thami was a journalist. Comrade of the port Palestine. Comrade Thami spent time in Namibia under the organization called SASU, Southern Student Union, which was ironically sponsored and funded by the very same Nujoma. As I conclude, because I can smell anger here, is that the first time I came into this world, it was when we were canvassing for the decisive victory of the who was a marshal said, no, can you go and sit with the masses? This chair is, I sat there until when I was called to the podium like today. I am not tempted to talk about myself, but I cannot leave this podium without saying that since Saturday, from our different social media groups, we have posted a lot of eulogies and messages, and in there I have also posted a poem. So I will encourage comrades from these social groups to share whatever eulogies we have posted with everybody. Comrade Abna Madiba and Thami, thanks for attending my wedding in Venda. Even though you almost disrupted my wedding by singing revolution, they woke me up through revolutionary songs. I gave them whiskey and something so that they cannot disturb me when I'm celebrating my wedding. Thank you.
Mother, Comrade Mulungis Makana, Comrade Mulungis, Comrade Mulungis.
Viva ANC, viva! Viva the Tripartite Alliance, viva! Long live the spirit of Comrade Thami, long live! Thank you very much, program directors, the leadership, the family, faith-based leaders present here. Mine, comrades, is to greet and offer our condolences, strengthened by the fact that I'm speaking about a comrade I've known for 27 years. I'm offering condolences about a man who left South Africa to come to Swaziland to practically support the struggles of the people of Swaziland until he was deported from Swaziland and never allowed back. Comrades, I want to appeal to you that if there is one thing we must do for Thami, if indeed we care for Thami, is to support your leadership in the ANC, nationally, in the province, in the region and in your branches. But also to make sure that you go out there and work extra hard in mobilizing the South African people. That 2026 local government that was troubling Comrade Thami was the fact that any decline of the ANC is an attack of the African Revolution. Comrade Thami understood that the ANC was not just a party for South Africans, that the struggle of the people of the continent will be in danger and in jeopardy when the ANC is not fully in control of levers of power. It is not by mistake, comrades, as I sit down, that fascists like Donald Trump have targeted your organization and your leadership. Do not allow any differences to allow you to weaken the African National Congress
And if we do that, we would have indeed paid the due salutation and service that Comrade Thami has served us with. With those few words, Comrade.
Thank you very much for your attention and having supported this program. Time today in this microphone conclusion of this memorial service. Samantha.
Thank you very much, Comrade Abner. Comrades, before I move to the last part, can I request all of us to please rise for a moment of silence to observe the fallen soldiers in DRC who are also coming home. The leadership has requested that before we have the ANC speaking, if we could observe that moment of silence. Also, that is what Comrade Thami as an internationalist would have expected us. Comrades, I'm now going to request the Regional Secretary, Comrade Sasabona Manganye, who will then usher to the podium Imama Yetu Pondweni. Comrade Sasabona is the Regional Secretary of the ANC in Greater Johannesburg. Over to you, Nobala.
Amandla, Soweto. Thanks very much, DRS and the program directors. All protocol observed. Due to time, I'm not going to take much of the minutes provided, given the fact that the region operate based on the delegated powers by the province. So if the province speaks, it represents the region and all of us. To teach us about the Leninist and Marxist tools of analysis. And when we went to institutions of higher learning, we joined SASCO where we found Comrade Thami, who then contextualized those tools of analysis into how we must transform institutions of higher learning in ensuring that we open access for the working class and the poor children who need this education. Of course, Comrade Thami also contextualized the importance of the National Democratic Revolution in building a national democratic society. He further contextualized its importance in taking us to the promised land of socialism. That is why, as I call upon the Deputy Chair of the province, I must indicate that we have lost an intellectual hub of the mass democratic movement. We have lost a mobile library. We have lost a political commissar, an internationalist, a unionist. Of course, the embodiment of the core values of the National Congress. I call you to come to our weakening each other and our movement in the public platforms. Even when, in fact, when we do so, we believe that we are revolutionaries and we are fearless, whilst we undermine the very same principles and core values that Comrade Thami have espoused in all of us. I'm not going to talk about reconfiguration because the SG was very clear that none of us must talk about it. Imama, please come to the podium. The Provincial Deputy Chair of the ANC, Comrade Imama.
Happy Comrade Thami, viva! Pata ANC, Pata! Thank you, Program Directors, Comrade Abna and Comrade Loiso Nana. Fakulo hlamba ngobende manze khona mandibulise ifamily kaComrade Thami Ncokwane nezalamane zonke zakhona abasemkhubuzini bakhe nabo ngokunjalo siyabahlonipha sibanika imbeko. Leadership of the ANC that is here, leadership of the alliance structures that is here, leadership of the leagues that is here, all the leaders from other organizations in the neighboring countries, especially SADC, comrades and friends, today we gather in deep sorrow and yet also in profound gratitude to pay our last respect to a man whose needs no introduction in the ANC National Congress. A man whose life was defined by unshakable commitment to this movement. A man whose name will forever be written in the annals of our struggle. A man who embodied the very essence of what it means to be an ANC cadre, who is Comrade Thami Ncokwane. His presence was larger than life, and his absence leaves a deep wound in our hearts and in the soul of this movement too. This is a moment of mourning, comrades, but also it's a moment of reflection as we celebrate the immense contributions of a man who never sought spotlight, but whose impact will forever shine. His life was dedicated to the revolution, a life that was never about personal glory, but about the liberation of the people. There are people whose presence is so deeply rooted in an organization that it is impossible to imagine it without them. And Thami is one of those. He was an institution within it, a revolutionary in mind and a spirit, and a mentor to many, a guiding force in the trenches of our struggle. He was a soldier of the movement. Indeed, he was solid in his convictions, unrelenting in his pursuit for justice. His passing leaves an immeasurable void in the ranks of our movement, a silence that echoes loudly in the corridors of the African National Congress. The ANC has lost more than a comrade. The ANC have lost a human asset. The ANC has lost a repository of knowledge, a steadfast revolutionary whose life's work was advancement of this movement. He gave his time, his wisdom, and his entire being to the cause of the people, never once asking for anything in return. And I think, comrades, all of you that are here, you know what we're talking about. His commitment was absolute, his dedication unquestionable. While many sought government positions and titles, and I think I'm speaking here as the deputy chair of the province. I am not speaking as a nobody. Everybody must get inside. Gone are the time that women must be disrespected. When you are speaking, we must be listened to. My voice is equal to the voice of the men that stand up here and speak. My leadership skills are unquestionable in this organization. I am a leader that is led in this organization. I am not a quota standing here. I have never been elected because Dr. Mutwaniswa enlisted Abafaz. So anyone that has come here to respect Thami, must be inside this room, must not sing outside unless that person doesn't respect Thami. Because now I respect Thami, and I will never sing in any leader when we're speaking. So ndiyanicela Maqabane kaTambo, let's start here if we want to renew the organization. Even this issue of your reconfiguration and Tetangai, it's here because of the type of discipline of cadres you are. Because if we were leaders that are not doing what those comrades are doing outside, the ANC will be stronger. The ANC will not be questionable in terms of their standing in the province. So Ndiyanicela, you must never do what you are trying to do to me. Because na andiloyiki. So while many sought government positions and titles, while others measured their contributions by ranks they held, Comrade Thami was different from those comrades. He never earned the status or personal recognition. He did not chase after positions of power. He was never tempted by the allure of being called director or chief director. His heart belonged to the ANC. He found his purpose not in titles but in service. His dedication was not conditional on material gain or political convenience. He served because he believed in the African National Congress. He was that rare breed of cadre whose commitment was not influenced by power of privilege, but was driven by the deepest sense of duty to the people. He future in his shoulders. The ANC was his home, his life's work and his greatest pride. He was the embodiment of the words of the great Amika Cabral, who once said, I will open quote, "This was not just a quote to Comrade Thami, comrades. It was a principle he lived by. In a time when many sought shortcuts to power, when some abandoned the values of the movement for personal gain, Comrade Thami stood firm. He believed that true leadership was not about rhetoric, but about action. That the revolution was not about personal enrichment, but about serving the people with honesty, with integrity, and with humility. He never allowed himself to be swayed by populism, nor did he tolerate dishonesty within the movement. His life was a testament to the unwavering principle that truth must always guide the revolution, even when it is uncomfortable, even when it demands sacrifices. And I think, Comrade Papi, the issue that you are raising, that's exactly what Thami have written. It can't be somebody else except him who can say as it is, the way that you are reading it. And as a leader in the province, in Papi, because I'm the deputy chair, Civile, we will definitely look into that. We will not surprise yourselves when there are things that are happening in the organization. Because that is basic start of making sure that we bring back the dignity of the ANC. We will make sure that all the members of the ANC are the organizers of the ANC. And that's what Thami knows. And that's what he was telling people about. Because that's what we went led in the ANC, who were groomed in the ANC, who were recruited in the ANC by leaders, who have the ANC for friends like